Hello, Miss Aline. We're going to start. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So today we're going to read a short story, and we're going to find the elements of the story. So we're going to do a quick revision of yesterday's lesson. Okay, very quick one. And then we're going to read a short story and find the elements. So as we know, the short story has some elements. These are the 5 key elements that make up a short story. فعندنا هذه العناصر ضرورية في أي short story. So, can you please read this part? Ms. Adil, can you read this one, please? Ms. Adil, can you hear me? الصوت واضح؟ Can you hear me? Hello? Ms. Adil, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Let's start. So as I said, before we go over the short story, we're going to read the short story and find the elements. These 5 elements. First, let's have a quick review. The 5 key elements that make up a short story. فعندنا هذه العناصر المهمة. 5 elements. Yeah. We have the characters. What do you mean by characters?
Characters, setting, conflict, theme, plot.
Yes. So what do we mean by characters? What does character mean? Characters of the story. Character. Okay, your voice is not clear, but
the persons.
Yes.
Which is in the story.
Yes, exactly. The persons, the people, or animals in the story.
I said the person.
Yes, exactly. That's true. So the characters are the people or animals in a story. هم الشخصيات المتواجدة بالقصة. Very good. The number 2, the second one is the setting. What do you mean by setting?
Setting, which is the roof that this story would be with.
Sorry. Exactly. The setting is the place and time of the story. The place where the story happened.
Okay.
Is the place, and also when did it happen? The time is in the past, the future, in the present, during the daytime, at night, in the afternoon, in the evening. So the setting has 2 parts. Okay, the setting has 2 parts, place and time of the story. Very good. So far, so good. And then we have conflict. What do you mean by conflict?
That's what I want to ask about. What the meanings of conflict?
Okay, very good. I'll explain one more time. So conflict in general, it means the problem. Like in each story, there is a problem of the story.
Okay, maybe in Arabic we say الحبكة بجوز.
Yeah, الحبكة, yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Okay.
Conflict. So let's have a quick look at the definition. This is the conflict, you see? So conflict is any of the problems that the character encounters. Exactly. So هي المشاكل أو العقبات اللي بيتعرض ليها المين characters, الشخصيات الرئيسية في القصة. Okay. And this conflict has two types. هذا الconflict عندنا نوعين. النوع الأول internal اللي هو external اللي هو صراع خارجي، conflict internal conflict هو داخلي. So external, some characters with other characters, it happens a conflict with the character, between the characters يعني بين الشخصيات. The other one internal, الشخصية مع ذاتها مع نفسها. Okay, with the, like the emotions, feelings, okay, by himself, with himself.
Yes.
For example, like against. So let's have a quick look at these types. So we have these. So this first one, against another important character. What is this? Is it internal or external? What do you think? This one, against another.
Which one? Against another important character? No, it's conflict.
Yeah, it is a conflict, but
conflict external.
External, very good. External call. Okay, let's go to number 2. Number 1, number 2, against forces of nature.
Against the force nature. It's also
external, correct, also external. Let's go to number 3.
Against society, it's internal.
Against society, what do you think? External or internal?
Internal.
Why?
Because society, against it.
No, it's also external, صراع خارجي، يعني شخصية مع أمور خارجية. ممكن تكون characters، شخصيات ثانية، ممكن تكون animals, something in nature، يعني it could be something in society, police, for example.
Okay.
Officers.
Internal, it's conflict within themselves.
Yes, exactly. Now we move on to the last one. So this one against something inside. So this one
against something inside himself or herself, feelings, emotions, in minds. It's internal.
Very good. This one is internal. Okay, so internal, الشخصية بعداتها. أحاسيسه، مشاعره، أفكاره, all of these are internal. وأي شيء صراع مع خارجي كيفما كان، مع إنسان، مع حيوانات، مع another character, with the society, with other people, with the police, with any kind of conflict، أي مشاكل خارج عن ذاته هي external. Clear? Is that clear? Good. Very good. Let's have it. Nice. Very good. So now we'll move on to the other types, the other elements. So we have characters, setting, conflict, then we have theme and plot. So what do you mean by theme?
I just want to say something, but I'm...
No problem, just say. It's okay.
It's not correct. Maybe it's... What I know that maybe the theme is like a background for the story.
Yes, that's correct. The background of the story. يعني بشكل عام خلفية.
Is it correct?
Yeah, it is correct. Very good. That's the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah, هي خلفية القصة، أو من ناحية ثانية، أو in other words, it means the general idea of the story. يعني القصة كاملة، يعني الفكرة الأساسية للقصة. القصة تتكلم عن قصة رعب، okay, or something, for example.
الفكرة الأساسية للقصة.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, الفكرة الأساسية أو الفكرة, or in general, يعني ممكن تكون هل هي love story or horror story.
Okay.
or ممكن نستفيد منها شيء، أو the message of the story. يعني آخر شيء when we read the story we extract an idea، بناخذ فكرة أساسية عن هذه القصة. We call it theme.
Okay.
Last one is plot.
Okay.
And what do you mean by plot?
What's the meaning of plot?
Plot.
I'm asking what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, here I'll explain. So plot in Arabic is close to hibka, something very like close to it, not exactly, but very close. So plot is a pattern of events that develop You can read, please. You can read if you want. Plot is, you read the definition.
Plot is pattern of events that develop from the interactions between characters.
Exactly. So the plot here, pattern of events.
And okay.
أحداث طيلة القصة from the beginning until the end. هذه الأحداث كلها بتكون مترابطة مع بعض، بنسميها plot. كل هذه الأحداث. And these and the plot has also 5 elements. We have exposition, raising action, climax, falling action, and conclusion. وبناخذ المثال as a triangle. So كل واحد في هذه elements عندها عنصر. For example, the exposition. Exposition is the base، القاعدة. تكون عندي هنا في القاعدة. هي بداية القصة. Okay. الأساس.
Okay.
Something here. يعني the beginning of the story. الأحداث الرئيسية أو البداية القصة. The very beginning of the story. The events. Okay. And the exposition, normally in the exposition we know the time of the story, where it's happening. We know also the characters. And هذه الإكسبوزيشن ناخذ فكرة أساسية عن الكاركترز اللي عندنا في القصة and the place and time and what is happening in the story. Okay. ممكن مثل المقدمة.
And the main idea for the story. Yes. Okay.
Exactly. Number 2 we have the raising action. Raising action هم الأحداث، يعني في الأول بتكون أحداث طبيعية عادية، وشوي شوي بتكون هذه الأحداث تطلع في الإثارة. Okay. بتصير أكثر إثارة. So these we call them raising actions. So raising actions is going upwards this way. So الإثارة بتطلع مع مرور الوقت. And then we have climax. Climax is the most exciting part of the story. هي أكثر يعني المكان في القصة بتكون فيه إثارة. So something. So it's going to be at the peak. بتكون هنا في القمة. الأحداث. So we call them climax. After climax we have falling actions. بعد الكلايماكس بيكون عندنا الأحداث بتنزل. Okay. بسرعة. We're going down. الأحداث بتصير عادية أو we find the solution of the problem in falling action. The last one is very easy. It's the conclusion. Conclusion هي مثل تكون في القصة هي الخاتمة or at the
end of the story.
Yeah, and at the end of the story we found the solution of the problem. If we have a problem, normally we find the solution of the problem at the end. We resolve the problem. Clear? So here is a little bit more detailed. هنا مفصلة أكثر. So here we have the introduction, the beginning of the story. Then we have raising action, then the climax, and the falling action at the end. We have resolution. Okay. So exposition is the start or introduction of the story. يعني بداية القصة أو مقدمة القصة. Okay. And then we have raising action. Okay. All the events that take place leading up to the climax. كل الأحداث اللي قبل الكلايماكس, the most exciting part of the story. كل الأحداث اللي قبل الكلايماكس بنسميها rising action. Okay? Sorry. Rising action. Okay. Then we have the climax. The climax هي the most exciting part of the story. يعني أكثر نقطة في القصة إثارة بنسميها
مشوقة.
Yeah, the climax. After بعد الكلايماكس على طول we have the falling action. The immediate reaction to the climax. يعني شو اللي صار بعد الكلايماكس. For example, this one is on top of the mountain and then he jumped off the mountain. So this one is the falling action. Last one is very simple. Is a resolution. Resolution, for example, if you have a problem in the climax, you solve the problem. Okay? Or at the end, you just say what happened at the end. What is the end of the story? So the conclusion of the plot, يعني ملخص أو ختام القصة أو الحبكة. Loose ends are tied up. There might some people or some authors, okay, بعض الكتاب أحيانا ما بيحلوا المشكلة، بتكون في مشكلة في الكلايماكس. maybe they give an open ending، يعني نهاية مفتوحة. For example, the same example I gave yesterday, we have some people are trying to steal a bank. They stole the money from the bank, and then they were running, and then the police trying to catch them, and then the story ended here. So we don't know if the police caught the thieves or not. So this one is an open ending. So maybe the author will write another story. ممكن يعني تكون عندها part 2 قسم ثاني للقصة. So another story. And then we have also loose ends. So if we have this one, so loose ends are tied up، يعني بننهي القصة بشكل كامل. We know what's happening. For example, we say that the thieves stole the money and the police were chasing them for many days, and at the end they caught them and they took them to jail. So here we know that this ending, here we know the ending is clear. Clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, this one. And we're trying to do all of these. I'm trying to find all of these parts. Okay, we're going to find the characters, the setting, the conflict, the theme, and the plot. Okay, we're going to do all of these together. The first, try to get a notebook and a pen. So we try to find these elements together. Okay?
Yes, okay.
Let's start. So this is the story. Let me know when you're ready, and then we will start reading the story.
But you want me to start reading this paragraph, right?
Yeah, you can read. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay. Story, the Sunday coffee. We met her at a party. She was so outside. There were many guys chasing after her while he was so normal. Nobody paid any attention to her. At the end of the party, he invited her to have a coffee with him. She was surprised, but she accepted the offer out of the politeness. Yes. They sit in the nice coffee shop, and he was so nervous to say anything. She felt uncomfortable. I thought to herself, but please let me go.
Yes, continue.
Suddenly he asked the writer, "Would you please give me some salt? Some salt to put it in my coffee." Everybody stared at him for this strange request. His face turned red, but still he put the salt coffee and drank it. She asked him curiously. And
بفضول.
Seriously?
Curiously. بفضول يعني بفضول.
Okay,
curiously.
Okay. Why do you add salt on your coffee? He replied, "When I was a little boy, I lived near the sea. I liked playing this in the sea where I could the taste of the sea, which is just like the taste of the salty coffee, where I could feel and taste." Okay, now every time I have the salty coffee, I always think of my childhood and my hometown. I miss my hometown so much. I miss my parents who are still living there. While saying that, tears filled his eyes. She was deeply touched. That must have been his feelings from the bottom of his heart. A man who can express his sickness must be a man who cares about home and takes responsibility of his home. Then she also started to talk about her faraway hometown. her childhood, and her family. That was a nice talk and also beautiful beginning to their story. They communicate.
Continued. Continued.
Okay, they continued to date. She found that he was actually who meets all her
Criteria.
criteria of a good partner. He had tolerance, was kind-hearted, was hearted, warm and careful. He was such a good person, but she almost missed him. Luckily, his salty coffee brought them together. The story became like over beautiful love story where the princess married the prince and they lived a happy life together. And every time she made a coffee for him, she put some salt in the coffee as she knew that's the way he liked it.
He liked it. Last part. After.
Pass this to everyone because love is not for.
After 40 years.
Okay.
This one.
After 40 years, he passed away and left her a letter which said, My dearest, please forgive me, forgive my life's lie. This was the only lie I said to you. The salty coffee. Remember the first time we date? I was so nervous that I actually wanted some sugar, but I said salt. Oh shit.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to change what I said, so I just went ahead. I never thought that could be the start of our vacation. I tried to tell you the truth many times in my life, but I was too afraid to do that, as I have a promise not to lie to you about anything. I'm dying, and I'm oh shit. Now I'm dying, and I'm no longer afraid of anything. So I wish to tell you the truth. I don't like the strange bad tasty of salty coffee, but I have had salty coffee for my whole life. Since I knew you, I never felt sorry. I never felt sorry for anything I had ever. Having you with me is my biggest happiness throughout my whole life. If I can live for the second time, I would still want to you. Know you and be with you for my whole life. Even I thought I would have to drink the salty coffee again. Her tears made the letter totally weak. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
One asked her what's the tasty of salad. She replied it was sweet.
Yeah.
Pass this to everyone because love is not forget, but to not to see but understand, not to hear but to listen, not to let go but hold on.
What do you think about the story?
I love it.
Yeah, the story is romantic.
I was very, very shocked.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good because when you have a short story and you use all the elements, the story is going to be really, really good. Inshallah, at the end of this our lessons, okay, we're gonna have a few more weeks. Each one of the students will be able to write a story like this. You will be able to write a story.
Yes.
It's going to be really simple. We're just follow the rules, apply the elements that we studied, and you will write a beautiful story just like this one. So now we're going to try and find the 5 elements of the story. These elements, okay? So you have your pen and your notebook with you. So we're going to try and find all these 5 key elements. We're going to start with the characters, setting, conflict, theme, and plot. Okay? You have any questions about the elements?